Hello, everyone. I'm Us Weekly's entertainment director, Travis Cronin, and you're watching Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast, the show where we break down all of the messiest and, most fun celebrity news stories of the week. Well, I couldn't do this by myself because that would just be me rambling at a camera. So luckily, I have my two amazing co-hosts. Sarah, we still think she was born a ginger hair on is here.
Hi, Trav. I'm loving the pink.
Oh, thank you so much. This whole thing. And Gwen Flamberg, hair goddess to most. She'll tell you what to wear. She'll tell you how to look. Hey, Gwen.
Oh, gosh, Trav, you saved me today with the dry shampoo. Hey, guys. It's great to be here.
No longer greasy, now dry and fresh. Well, we have lots to break down today. We have Rebel Wilson's new girlfriend, William and Kate, a mysterious illness, and much, much more. But let's talk about what made our co-host go whoa this week. That is the story that really stood out to us and just, knocked us back a little bit. And we read a lot of celebrity gossip stories, so these ones really stood out. Gwen Flamberg, what made you pop the buttons on the back of your dress and just go whoa?
That's foreshadowing, Trav, because a story that has been super controversial just got more controversial. And of course, I'm talking about Kim Kardashian wearing Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress to the Met Gala. Well, a collector named Scott Fortner just came out talking about how the dress has been damaged. It's showing signs of damage. There's some pulls and tears at the zipper. Crystals popped off. And now today, the plot thickens even more. There are pictures that show that the sleeve is somewhat torn. So Kim is in super hot water. People are really upset about this. I myself, I'm wildly upset about it. This is the woe of all woes for me. Because seriously, listen.
You were not with this since the beginning.
Well, I wasn't, because I thought that it was sort of in poor taste. She only wore the dress for a hot second on the red carpet and then changed into a replica. So it was just for the sake of a photo. And I think that it speaks to everything that's kind of wrong with our socially media-driven society right now. It's nothing is real. Mm-hmm. And here she took this piece that was very real, in fact, a real part of fashion history and history in general. And now it's destroyed. For what? And, I feel like the Kardashians, God bless them, it's part of the whole Us Weekly culture, right? We're a bit symbiotic with that. It's true.
Just a bit.
With, right, the rise of reality.
Just a little bit.
But just a little bit. But, it's they do everything to kind of try to change the narrative with what's historical. Mm-hmm. And now they've trying to do that, actually destroyed a piece of history. And I'm just kind of I want to know the backstory of who's looking after those archives. Why did they let this happen? Why did Anna Wintour and the Costume Institute, the whole idea of the Met Gala is to raise money for the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute, which is all about archival fashion. How did they let this happen? I am so flabbergasted, and also just going, dialing it back a little bit more, that Kim Kardashian's body is kind of not really natural. It's super beautiful. She looked really beautiful in the dress after,
starving
saying
herself.
that she starved herself. But her measurements can no way line up to Marilyn Monroe's measurements. So it obviously, I can't even say, whoa, I'm so flabbergasted. I just can't wait to see this story continue to unfold, because nobody's taken responsibility for this yet. So I think that there's going to be a lot of information that we hear this week.
Yeah, to play devil's advocate, I feel like this is Ripley's fault, not Kim's. They didn't have to give her the dress. Kim had an idea, and to, pull the being the youngest person on the panel card. I didn't know what this dress was, to be quite honest, and now I do. So if we're talking history, Kim raised awareness for a dress that I didn't know cost $4 million. That was in a museum.
Well, Sarah, we were not alive in 1950, but we still know what this dress is.
Thank you. Thank you, Travis.
We still know what this dress is.
And I don't know.
Gen Z just doesn't think that anything existed before
I'm a millennial,
them, and
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's not that this is only the most famous dress in the world. It's that this is the most expensive dress in the world.
Right, but I didn't know that until Kim wore it.
Right. Well, that's really on you.
That's on me, but it's on me and a lot of other people, to be honest.
I would say about most of this country knows.
Voice of a generation.
Voice of a generation. Most of this country knows Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday,
I knew
Mr.
she sang
President.
Happy Birthday, Mr. President. I didn't remember what the dress looked like.
I will never forget that dress.
Of course.
And I think it is interesting that it is to raise money for a costume archival.
That's a good point.
And they let it, and you're right, Kim Kardashian, especially when you see her in person, those measurements are not of a mannequin. They are definitely not of a regular person walking around on this earth, and definitely not someone from an age before BBLs. That is not something.
Exactly.
So I think seeing, even though she tried really hard to fit into this dress, those hips just cannot be contained.
Releasing that behind the scenes footage was probably the worst thing that Ripley's or Kim, whoever did, because that's when we saw like the pushing of the backside trying to get into the dress.
Did they release it, or did it leak? Because
someone gave it to TMZ.
You know, and everybody, you know, with that jacket that was over her, like it was kind of like, I think they had torn the dress.
Yeah, I think so. But
and I think that's what's going to come out from this. But I just don't understand why it wasn't meticulously restored before it went back to Ripley's.
Yeah. I wonder if Bob Mackie, the guy who designed the dress and everything Cher has ever worn, and just a great dress designer, love Bob Mackie, I wonder if the dress would lose its value if someone else came in and restored the back of the dress and all of those, and that's sort of why we didn't see some seamstress at Ripley's go try to sew it up and glue on some rhinestones.
Bob Mackie was actually the assistant to the designer of this particular dress, but he has spoken out about, you know, he has denounced how that dress was worn on the Met Gala red carpet.
Yeah, it was really sort of like taking a big poop on a piece of history. And it's really evident now that the dress is damaged, and it is like a museum archive piece. So people like Sarah Huron could learn about history.
Yeah, but now I can go to the museum and be like, look, Marilyn and Kim wore this dress. How exciting. Two icons for the price of one.
Ay, this is what's wrong with the world.
I mean,
even that makes me go,
I just like playing devil's advocate. It's fun.
It is. Please sound off in the comments. I'd really like to hear everyone's opinion of this, whether you knew it or not, what you think about Kim wearing the dress. But the background footage of her just like, and then trying to like put a string in it was very, very hard to watch. Well, let's move on, because we should just dedicate a whole podcast to Kim trying to fit in ladies who have dyed dresses, because it is apparently a very hot topic here on the Hot Hollywood podcast. Sarah, I hope this also involves a gigantic butt busting open a seam.
I mean, in theory, I'm not totally sure how this is going to plan out, but Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen's oldest daughter, Sami Sheen, she just turned 18, and she's on OnlyFans, you guys. As we know, OnlyFans is the way to make your money these days, and she is on OnlyFans, and Sami has had some issues with her famous parents in the last couple years. She lived with Denise, as we saw on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, if you watched that program, as you should. Then she angrily. She was angsty. She was an angsty teen. I mean, she's Charlie Sheen's daughter.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Then she moved,
and just a 15-year-old at the time.
Right. And now she's 18. She moved in with Charlie late last year, I believe. She was having some issues with Denise and Denise's husband's Aaron's rules. You know, can't imagine what they were. Charlie, according to Denise, didn't have quite as many rules, which would make sense, right? But now Sami is seemingly back under Denise's roof and is allowed in some way to be on OnlyFans. The parents have given statements. Charlie said, "I don't condone this, but since I'm unable to prevent it, I urge her to keep it classy, creative, and not sacrifice her integrity." Well, he also made it clear that in his statement that Sami is not under his roof anymore. While Denise told us in a statement, Sami is 18 and this decision wasn't based on whose house she lives in. All I can do as a parent is guide her and trust her judgment, but she makes her own choices. Sami posted her first bikini shot on her Instagram, and Denise did comment, and she said, "Sami, I will always support you and have your back. I love you."
You know, OnlyFans is famous or infamous because people do a lot of nudes and sort of like sex work on OnlyFans. But we don't know that that's how Sami is going to use her account.
We have a pretty good idea.
But let's just
What do you think Sami's gonna post?
let's just
With
see
that
what happens.
bikini
Well,
picture.
maybe
exclusive videos watching 2.5 Men with Charlie.
maybe bikini pictures, which like all the girls
Yeah.
post bikini pictures on
On the
their
gram.
Instagram.
Ain't nobody signing up for her bikini pics.
Well, I mean, I know.
18
well,
is
I
just
know,
so
let's see.
young.
It's very, very young. But I also, it's like newsflash, guys. Like, who would have thought that the daughter of Charlie Sheen, who grew up in a house where, Charlie was not always the best ex-spouse to Denise. He was very, it was a very
Contentious.
acrimonious split.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
she got no money.
and Denise,
And then he
who
spent it all.
really, really cares so deeply for her animals, like she has that cute little dog hotel at her house.
Yeah.
And I think maybe her, maybe Sami sort of felt like she had to make her own.
And she had a daughter with
way.
special needs. Denise has a daughter
Denise
with special
adopted
needs.
Eloise.
That's right.
Adopted Eloise, who...
And there's the other, Lola is the other
Yes.
daughter of Charlie
Yes,
and
exactly.
Denise.
Yes.
Wonder
but
what she's up to.
This is, we'll never know.
Maybe
because
she's
Sami has
until she's
gotten this
18.
far.
assistant for Sami's.
Maybe she's getting a cut.
Listen, guys, I watch Euphoria. Do you guys watch Euphoria? So none of this really surprises me.
Right.
But let's actually just see what happens.
Okay.
I definitely think she will be going nude, if not like having sex on camera.
Oh, gosh, I hope
this is
not.
This is not, the first time that someone who's turned 18, boy or girl, wants to show their sexuality,
True.
to become a sexual being. It is, I call it like the pop star requirement, right? Madonna did it, Britney did it with Slave for You, Miley Cyrus,
Britney
Bangers
on her
era.
head in her crop
Britney,
top.
this was right before it. But when,
gosh.
18, 19, 20, people are really coming into their sexuality and they want to explore it in a lot of different ways. And especially when your dad has brought home prostitutes for your entire life, you have a
It's
different view of what that
Exactly.
is.
You do, but
Exactly.
sometimes you go the opposite way. Like you have kind of crazy parents or out there parents, and then you
Right.
reject that. Like I would almost think my dad being Charlie Sheen would make me like straight laced because I'd be like scared to end up with AIDS.
Because
like
you got the
Charlie
tiger
Sheen.
blood in you.
Right.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe,
But also like, Sami, good luck. I'm not,
Yeah.
don't want to
maybe
hate on her
Lola's
too much.
that sibling. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. And Sami, you look really pretty. She looks very pretty in the
she's
thing.
not- she's Denise Richards' daughter.
Exactly.
Right. Well, good luck.
Controversial start to the pod, you guys.
Controversial
Yes,
start to the
yes.
pod. Well, my woe is going to be a lot less controversial. Now I wish I picked a different one. My woe is about Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde. Now I feel like we see so much of this couple. We don't know a lot about them. They never speak about each other, but we're obsessed with them. So I feel like we learn like little bits, really small times at a time. Like twice a year, we'll get a half a sentence, and that's what we're happy with out here with them. But we got some other half a sentences this week. Harry has been doing the podcast tour for his new album, his new tour. Gwen will be there this weekend. She'll be reporting
will.
live when she's back.
Yes,
Boots on the ground.
Reporting live, boots on the ground from Wembley, his hometown-ish. And he is finally talking about Olivia Wilde, saying how the woman he met, he said, did not name her by name, but said that she was too cool for him, and he was nervous because the woman he's dating right now is too cool for him. He also talked about the importance of having a nice director and how much that can make him come out of his shell and feel less insecure and feel more cool. Now, of course, Harry and Olivia met while she was directing him on a movie, so he is talking about her, and it's just so fun to see Harry Styles, who I think we would all think is like the coolest guy in the moment right now. He is sort of the epitome of Gen Z cool. Thinking he's not cool enough for Olivia Wilde is just adorable.
I think that this just speaks to like stars, they're just like us. Like Harry's been put on this pedestal, and largely because he's kind of very inclusive, like he's redefined cool, right?
Yes.
For this generation.
So freaking cool.
But I feel like
David Bowie-ish.
he's just a young kid who's finding his way. I mean, now he's 28. He's not that much of a kid, but when
I still
he
see him
was
as, like, 20.
when he said that, I know, but he's not the same socialization as you or I because
Right.
he's he was in One Direction from I'm sure you know what age. Sarah,
Well, he was
but
the baker's boy. Just don't forget about
that too. So I mean, he's just kind of like a normal, nice guy who happens to be really cute and really charismatic. And gosh, I just can't wait to dance at Wembley Stadium and treat people with kindness.
Yes.
Yes.
Lots of bell bottoms gonna be there.
I love him so much. And you know what? She is pretty freaking cool.
She is.
Can't lie.
I mean, I don't know how cool she is, but I will say she is very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
I've met
The
her a
OC.
couple times, and she's so smart.
It's
She
like
comes
hers.
off so quick and smart.
Yeah.
So that's sort of intimidating. And those almond-shaped eyes.
Yeah.
Those almond-shaped eyes with the
Beyond.
brain
She's
behind
like
them.
an alien.
On Rachel
Yeah.
On Rachel
Yes.
Bilson's OC Rewatch podcast, they just got through the episodes she was on, and they were talking about how everyone was intimidated by her on set. She was so nice, but like she was just such a pro, and she was married to a prince, and she was so cool, and she was like so hot and pretty, and like playing lesbian to Misha Barton, like just iconic.
Good for her. Good for you, Olivia Wilde. Good for all of you. And sorry, Jason Sudeikis still. He just comes out looking
I
so
do
sad.
feel
He's
really
getting awards.
bad about that. I mean, she must be smart and cool because she was married to Jason Sudeikis. Who, to me, it's like that's just goals. I mean, I don't know, Brett Goldberg maybe a little bit more than Jason Sudeikis.
Don't pit Ted Lasso characters against each other.
Roy Kent forever. But she also has to be courageous to kind of walk away from her life with Jason, and they have 2 kids, right? Like it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm not quite sure how she's juggling all of that, especially when she, follows Harry on tour.
And LA to London is a rough flight.
She's been spotted at a lot of shows, so I hope you see her.
If you're, I mean, I hope so too. If you're flying first class or private, like, is it that hard? Like, I don't know.
I just say goodnight to Daisy and Otis, hop on your plane, and you're there for half the show.
I hope that she is, I hope that she is balancing her life in the right way, but all for it.
Yeah, I mean, if we were all with Harry, we probably wouldn't be balancing our lives. So, Olivia, good luck. Hope you're a better lady than all of us. It seems like since everyone's intimidated by you, you are. Let us bust into some of the news. We're gonna stay across the pond. Let's stay in London. We're actually gonna leave London just like William and Kate are. Yes, sources have confirmed to us that Prince Harry and Duchess Kate will be moving to the Windsor home, also known as the Big Home. They will be moving out of Kensington Palace and moving to the home in Windsor. And we're hearing this is a lot due to the Queen's health issues. This is where the Queen likes to spend her weekends. This is where she spends Easter, a lot of her holidays. Apparently she just loves it and is very comfortable there. So Kate and William are going there to, I guess help her, just be with her during this time where she's having mobility issues. Now the kids will change schools. They will enroll in different schools, and sources also confirmed to us that William and Kate want to make this move because it's not possible for them to do everything they want to do in London. They can't take the kids to the park. They can't take the kids, to a play date or any public space really because it's London and it's a big, massive city. But in Windsor, they are allowed to do more things where they're free with the kids and the family. So this is the reason for a move. Seems like a great idea. Should have happened a long time ago, maybe.
Windsor is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, obviously, we have seen it when other members of the royal family have gotten married.
But they lived in the shack.
Well,
Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
Oh, when they had little frogs.
The $2 million renovations.
Exactly. No, but we've seen it. Windsor Castle is so iconic. And I love that the Queen will be reportedly spending more time there. Mm-hmm. And also, Prince George is of an age now where he's probably getting ready to go off to school.
Right.
And so the kids won't be kind of in the same environment.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe also little Louis needs some more room because that kid is a pistol. Maybe he needs some more running around space, and maybe they want like a bit fewer cameras on them, although I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen regardless of where they relocate to.
Yeah, they're not having a Netflix documentary special made about them.
I wish.
We're happy for them.
Yeah.
Well, let us move on to our LGBTQ plus story of the week, sponsored by Saks Off 5th in partnership with the Fluid Project. Guys, we got a new lady dating a lady. I love when we get to say that. Love a new same-sex relationship in Hollywood. So Rebel Wilson is dating Ramona Agrama. Now, Ramona Agrama, we know a few things about her. She is Latvian. That's where she is from, but she lives in LA right now. She has her own clothing line called Lemon of Limon, which seems cute. Fans, yeah, sort of cute name. It's all sustainable, very chic LA, really cool mom vibes, comfortable, really good. Purpose, charity, fair trade, all of that. She seems lovely. Rebel Wilson posted her on her Instagram saying she thought she was looking for a Disney prince. Turns out she was looking for a Disney princess. A little cheesy, but cute.
Oh, I thought it was cute.
It was super cute. It was my favorite part of this story is the way that she announced it. Because it was, first of all, truly surprising, which I always love when a celebrity manages to pull off a true surprise.
Yes.
And it was also just it was sweet. It wasn't condescending or kind of there was nothing kind of nasty about it at all. Oh, you guys never knew me kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was just it was very heartfelt, honest, and cute.
Except, well, the whole other side of the story, which is so crazy, because I feel like the last 2 weeks on this program, I've been talking about how awesome it is that Becca Tilley got to come out on her own terms with Hailey Kiyoko, and everyone in the press kind of knew that they were dating, but we were like, this is Becca's journey. Sure. She's known for like being on a straight reality show. Like, it's not our place to out her and say her and Hailey are dating. And she got to do it on her terms. Rebel almost didn't, because there was a newspaper that was threatening to out her and basically kind of was like, this is your deadline. I know you're dating. And then the newspaper had the audacity to double down and like get mad at Rebel for ruining their exclusive. I think the reporter, who I think is gay also, has apologized, saying like he didn't know what he did wrong. And like, we get it. We love an exclusive. We don't want, celebrities to scoop us. You go for comment call, you're risking that. Right. But this is just like, it's 2022. What are we doing?
Everybody knows you don't out someone, and you also don't like blackmail them,
right? And you don't double down when you get caught.
Not cool. I agree with you, but that's exactly why. She was just like, it was just really cute and sweet, and she didn't, make any notation of that in the post, and I loved that, and I love her.
I love her too, and she's been seen with her for a long time, guys.
Interesting.
She was seen getting with her at Oscars parties. There was a group shot from January of the two of them together. So they have been together for a long time. So we're glad she's finally being open about it. But I love she spoke out on a podcast right after she announced on Instagram and said that she had been on Raya and that she was giving Raya a real shot, and she had dating 50 guys in the summer on Raya, just going through them, just 50
I know. How'd she get 50 dates? Because she's Rebel Wilson.
Because she's Rebel Wilson. Yeah. She got 50 dates, and then her getting set up with Ramona was actually a friend of a friend who set them up, thought that they would be good together. God, I hope it was G-Flip.
I hope it was G-Flip.
G-Flip, Chriselle Chouse's, current love. But it was not. So they spoke on the phone for hours for a few weeks beforehand, and Rebel said it was actually a romantic, sort of old school way to be set up with someone, to speak to them on the phone first, not messaging back and forth on an app. Yeah, so the way they got together was really, really adorable. And if you guys haven't seen Senior Year by Rebel Wilson, her new Netflix show, it is adorable. I loved it so much. She actually recreates this music video, Britney Spears' Crazy, which is fantastic. And she wears this outfit and a lot of really cute outfits. She actually wears one that I thought baby girl Sarah Heron would look cute in.
Ooh,
and it's a pink fuzzy dress with like a red heart on it with a matching camisole.
Feels right.
Fluffy, the pink and red. It was really cute. It'd be great to wear for Pride. Look at my segue. So luckily, Rebel Wilson, again, good Pride inspo in Senior Year. But let's talk to a lady who really knows her stuff. If you guys are trying to figure out how to look cute at Pride, obviously Saks Off 5th is a great first place to go. But you want to talk to drag queens. No one transforms themselves more than drag queens or goes to more gay events. So I talked to Monet Exchange, co-winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars and current contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars All Winners season. And I asked her how the quickest, easy way to look for Pride. Let's watch it. How do you look fly at Pride? What's your go-to to get some style, look cool, funky, fresh, queen of transformation over here?
My first Pride, I walked down this very Fifth Avenue from the entering of the route at 43rd Street, whatever, down to the West Village in 6-inch platform pumps. Never do that. I would never do that again, unless you were being carried around in a bus. So a go-to style, I would say something cute but easy. So think caftan, think flowy, so you can have some sneakers or some comfortable shoes underneath and no one will know the difference. That's my go-to advice.
Nice. The flash is like the movement from the garment. It's not
breezy. It'll be breezy, it'll be flowy, it'll be so dramatic, but you'll be so comfortable.
Well, let us move on to Justin Bieber. Guys, this came out of nowhere. If this was not a huge story, would have been all of our woes of the week. Justin Bieber has a rare neurological disorder that impacted half of his face, paralyzing half of his face. Now, this is the same virus that comes from shingles and smallpox, but it can transform itself into this issue that causes half paralyzation of his face. He looks a little rough. It's similar to a stroke victim who is losing the paralysis in half of their face in terms of how he looks aesthetically. He has already postponed 2 concerts because of this. Now, while this doesn't seem to be life-threatening from what Dr. Travis can read on the thing, and that it's the same virus as shingles and smallpox, it really seems to be affecting his ability to perform, and it's just a shocking story. Him and Hailey Bieber really have not been having a good run at their health.
Exactly. They've had a rough couple of months, but it does seem like those two really support each other and lean on each other. Now, I was actually supposed to go to the show on Monday night, Never Say Never, and that was
you're so in touch with your hairstyles. You're Justin Bieber. Gwen is like the coolest person on the planet. Olivia Wilde too.
And that concert was postponed because of the pandemic. And now it's had to be postponed again. Yeah. But he did take to Instagram and say that every day he's getting better. And of course, his faith is real strong, you guys.
Yeah.
And so he is feeling
God
like
did this
he is
for a reason.
improving.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad that they have their faith to stick to, because Hailey Bieber, if you don't know, was hospitalized because she did have a stroke.
No, I don't think she had a stroke. It was something else.
Stroke.
She had a mini stroke.
Oh, I thought
she
it
got
was
like a blood clot mini stroke. Yeah, Hailey Bieber was hospitalized with mini stroke-like symptoms. Something was really small. There was a blockage in the brain and caused her to be hospitalized. Really, really scary moment. They've just been battling a lot of health issues.
Yeah, it's crazy because you say couple months, but really like their whole marriage has been a lot going on. I mean, Justin had all those like mental health issues. They were like crying on the street. Then, the whole world went through the pandemic, and now they both this past year have been in the hospital for like very scary things, and they're so young.
Yes.
It's interesting in the fact that I don't think anyone, if people put odds on whether these two would still be together after getting married, a month after reconciling after his decade-long romance with Selena Gomez, I personally probably wouldn't have said they would have made it. Maybe I'm just a hater.
I would have too.
Look at them not only making it, but like going through some real life stuff when their life could in theory be pretty cushy and whatever. It's kind of interesting.
Rich, skinny, blonde white people. You never think they would have any problems either at all, but they really have been going through it.
I feel for them.
Wow, rough stuff. Well, let's move on to some happy news, because it's Britney, bitch. That is right. Miss Britney Spears has tied the knot, her third time, but this is the best time. Now, I love that Britney Spears chose a Thursday evening at her own home to get married.
A tale as old as time.
A tale as old as time. Thursday night, my place, 6 p.m., let's get married.
Most random people in the world be there.
Most random people in the world be there. I feel like this was Britney's celeb roster who she feels hasn't wronged her.
Right.
And this is like the only 6 people left were Madonna, Selena Gomez, Drew Barrymore, who could never wrong anyone because she's so lovely. And it was just like
Donatella,
Paris Hilton, and Donatella
Versace. Made the dress, of course, but it was like the group picture of those guys.
Yeah.
Was most close to, do you remember that picture of Liza Minnelli when she married, what was his name? David,
the gay
brother. And it was like, and Michael Jackson. And I mean, it was just like
weird
the craziest. Who was the 4th person in that photo? It was like.
It wasn't the young Madonna, was it?
Did she transcend time and go to both?
Yeah.
It's totally possible.
I mean,
but it was just like the wackiest photo.
I feel like Britney literally Googled like stars who supported Free Britney and like read a story that I wrote with like people who said nice things. But
I didn't really understand the Drew Barrymore connection, but I love Drew Barrymore.
She recently like called Drew Barrymore one of the most like beautiful people on the planet. I think Drew's news. Maybe Drew just like snuck in with saying a nice comment. Like it's
commenting back on each other's Instagrams publicly, and I feel like that's how Selena and Drew got invites.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was a big proponent of the Free Britney movement, and where was my invite, guys?
You know who wasn't invited but showed up anyway? Jason Alexander.
Oh, that's interesting.
You guys, the first husband she was married to for 55 hours, coming into her house. I just read that Britney like fired her whole security team.
Yes, she did.
Hello, how did this unhinged man get into her home?
I mean, do you remember when they got married? Was that the Pimps and Hoes? That wasn't the Kevin Federline
Kevin
wedding,
Federline
was
it?
Kevin Federline was Pimps and Hoes. That was awesome.
Jason Alexander was just at 15 hours and like nothing crazy.
In Vegas. She was wearing right before she married Jason Alexander like right after New Year's Eve in 2004. Same year she married K-Fed a couple months later, also at her home.
Rough
and she told people it was like a party and it was a wedding. So Britney's never had a conventional wedding life. She's never had a conventional life, but weddings are never conventional.
Good for her. I mean, poor Britney is just so scarred by like, everything she does is under such scrutiny. And I loved that she was able, again, to pull this one off. It was like we just sort of hearing from sources that it might be happening like on the day of.
Yeah.
So good for her.
What do you think of the dress?
I like the dress. I felt like it was very classic. I thought it looked beautiful on her. And the designer was right there. So, she needed a little,
you know, I couldn't love Britney more, but she's never had a great sense of style. Let's be real.
She doesn't.
But this wedding dress was lovely.
Dress for her.
Yeah, the outfit changes I wasn't loving.
Well, let's talk about the dress that I can't get out of my brain. Dress is really using like a loose term here. It was like a blazer that was not long, and it showed half of her butt, which is fine. She's Britney. She's serving sex on the daily. Good job. And she was wearing a diamond thong that you couldn't see in it. So this was intentionally short to show half of her butt with a diamond thong. That's that stuff I like. That is, she was barefoot. She looked so happy, spinning with everybody. There's a video of her singing Stars Are Blind with Paris Hilton.
A classic.
A classic.
They sang Toxic. They sang Vogue.
They sang Toxic. They sang Vogue with Madonna.
Do you think they sang any Selena Gomez songs?
No.
I'm gonna say no.
Well, Britney Spears did write one of Selena Gomez's songs,
really?
number 3 off her album Whiplash. Britney Spears is the writer for it.
Oh.
So I wonder if they played Whiplash. When you can hear it, it's totally a Britney song that she wrote for her. So they do have that little connection. I hope they played Whiplash, co-penned by Britney Spears. But it was just a really happy day. I thought the flowers outside were beautiful. It was just a very Britney wedding. They seemed super, super, super happy. She's allowed to do whatever she wants now. And
no kids,
that's
though.
it.
I thought that was a little weird. Obviously, we didn't expect the parents to be there. We did not expect JL to be there.
No.
And we didn't really even expect Brian to be there, even though Brian and his wife, the brother, are presenting this narrative. They were invited. Britney really shot that down on Instagram and said, good luck with your rum and Coke. It kind of felt like a Coca-Cola ad. But I kind of thought the kids with Kevin Federline would be there. Kevin Federline's lawyer never misses an opportunity to release a statement, and he did just that and confirmed they wouldn't be there. Hardworking man, Mike Vincent Kaplan. And Marker, whatever. And he confirmed they weren't going to be there. I was kind of surprised. This party, it looked like a pretty lit party, so I understand there was no kids there, but they're 15, 16, like, I don't know, kind of weird they're not at mom's wedding.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I wonder why. None of her family was there, but you're right. The only one that I was like, why aren't, I like to still call them Tater Tot and Small Fry. Where are Tater Tot and Small Fry, Jaden and Sean Preston? With K-Fed, but you know,
I think
this wasn't for the kids.
This moment in Britney's life is about Britney saying, I have agency over all of my decisions, and this is just about me right now. My entire life, I've done everything for everybody else.
Smart.
And this is just for me, but you know, they're her kids.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, but even if you're like, I don't want my kids here that day, I don't want to worry about them. They're moody teenagers. You know, I just want to like focus on myself. I mean, it's hard to get in Britney's head.
She might have been afraid it would leak.
Maybe she was afraid it would leak. Mazel tov, Britney. So happy for you and this wedding of the century. Just to come during Jude month to see Madonna and Britney during Pride with Paris Hilton.
What do you think of the kiss?
The kiss was lovely. It was campy.
Really, Madonna just upsets me. It makes me sad because I cannot recognize her anymore as Madonna. And I loved her so, so, so very much. And I, as you guys know, and I talk about all the time on this podcast, if somebody wants to have plastic surgery, have at it. You do you. Hit the needle as hard as you want. Lasers, electromagnetic current, all that stuff, radio frequency. Give it all to me.
Yeah.
But Madonna, you just don't look good.
No.
She just looks kind of creepy.
It looks creepy. And you, like, Madonna has been told she has been too old for the last 40 years. You know what I mean? She has been too old to be showing her body, too old to be...
She's not.
And she's not. But Christy Brinkley, you look at how that face turned out, and you look at how Madonna turned out.
It's back to what it was. It's better. Nicole Kidman corrected some of the bad work that she had done.
You're right. It's that shine.
And it's not even... It's just that Madonna just looks like... she doesn't look like Madonna. Like she looks like she looks like like if Amanda Lepore and Madonna had a baby.
Yeah.
You know, she looks kind of like an unrealistic
version of
blow-up doll version of Madonna that maybe also is inspired by a drag queen, which I love drag queens. But I don't know.
Well, drag queens know how to contour, and there is none of that in her face.
And also... There's more irony.
And now we said it.
They're in on the joke. Whereas this is kind of like, I think Madonna has just kind of like, I think she thinks she looks like young Madonna.
Yeah.
But she looks like something else, you know? And it upsets me.
It's creepy. It's creepy. Good luck, Madonna. Fix your face, do the Nicole Kidman thing, and get that old thing back. Well, that is all of the news we have today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and we will be back next week with more celebrity dramas, messes, and just fun stories that we like to talk about. Thank you, Gwen and Sarah, for helping me spill all of this piping hot celebrity
Hot
this
takes
week.
this week, everybody. Hot takes.
Hottest takes
Juicy.
this week.
It's a juicy one, guys.
You know what my main takeaway, though, was? That celebrities,
They're just like
they're
us.
just like us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week.